Now let's meet our first guest. She's already introduced herself, but I'm going to pump up the jam. She's the founder of the legal marketing agency Quill. She hosts the Legal Marketing Lounge podcast. She's been a weekly contributor to Above the Law and Attorney at Work, and I'm extremely happy to be speaking with her again. Her name is Annette Choti. Annette, welcome to Reboot Camp.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It really is an honor. You've lined up, I think, a really great day. I'm very honored to be in such prestigious company.
I think others are in prestigious company as well. So let's get started. I want to talk about, because lawyers have had a lot of distractions to deal with over the last few years. We've had to play a lot of catch up, and they might not have been able to keep up with the latest content marketing trends because they've had to spend so much time managing their practice and sending people home and becoming virtual and all these other crazy things that have happened to all of us. So we're hoping that you can catch us up a little bit. What are some of the most notable changes that you've seen in legal content marketing over the past few years?
The number one thing that I've seen is that more people are in the game now. I feel like more lawyers are getting into the game of content marketing. So it's becoming more and more competitive. We all know that Google ads are competitive, but I feel like the organic digital marketing is, especially during the pandemic, when everyone was at home, everyone's on their computers. And I think that a lot of law firms that were not originally maybe interested in developing a digital marketing plan for themselves to grow their law firm online, become an expert, an authority, and gain potential clients that way, really pivoted. And I think that they saw how valuable it was. So that's one of the biggest trends, is that there's just more law firms that are interested in this. I will say, though, that getting to the meat of your question, though, what are the actual trends that are happening within content marketing? Law firms are just businesses. They're just businesses like any other business. And so what's working for other businesses is also going to work for law firms. And that is, no matter what the Google algorithm shifts are, at the end of the day, if you provide really great over 1,000, 2,000 words of quality content that is providing value, showcasing your expertise, your authority, your trustworthiness, answers to, you can't give legal advice, but, sort of generalized answers to questions, that is real. Google is rewarding that type of content. And, let's be honest, people don't go to law firm websites for fun. I mean, I do, but most people don't. And they're looking to assuage their fears and find some answers. And you can do that through regular content. So I think that providing that longer content, I really see a trend in that people are now recognizing the value of that. And then, of course, video is always going to be popular, because that's another way to frankly showcase your content in a different way that someone might consume content with video instead of reading, or, including value, an infographic, or, some sort of content that just makes your article or content stand out more from your competitor. So what I really love is that the changes that I'm seeing are really they're not, just shticks. They're really helpful for potential clients.
I agree with you. And it wasn't always that way. So it is a good shift to see that the stuff that Google has been preaching over the years, like, oh, we just want good content, we just want you to write for your viewers. It wasn't always true, because they hadn't really achieved it yet. And through a lot of the updates that they've made, it's apparent that the algorithm and the crawlers are starting to understand content in a real way. So it's not just like lawyer for personal injury Chicago, and then you stuff it throughout the thing. And yeah, sure, you'll get the leads and that worked for a period of time, but it's not practical. I'm sorry that you missed out on that boat. It was probably a cash cow for some people, but it's just not the case anymore. and you work directly with a lot of law firms to help them improve their content marketing strategies. So what does it look like before they hire you, right? Like, how do people identify what they might be doing wrong? What are some of the content marketing mistakes that you seem to see a lot of law firms make that that somebody might say like, oh, I'm doing that. I should probably switch what I'm doing and take up Annette's advice.
So I think there are three. The first is not having any content at all. That's the biggest mistake. So people are utilizing their website kind of just like a business card, and the Google bots will go look at that, and then they're done. It's kind of like a magazine. You read a magazine, then you're done with it. That's it. You wait for the new issue. So Google is constantly waiting for your new issue. And if there's nothing there, they just think, well, you aren't worthy to be at the top of our search engine rankings because there's other people that are providing consistent content. So I think the very biggest mistake is not having any content at all. The second mistake is attempting to write content that you feel is valuable, but you're not formatting it in such a way that the Google bots understand it. So, if you're an estate planning attorney, divorce attorney, whatever you are, and you're putting content out about, cryptocurrency in estate plans or whatever you're writing about, it's a great article, but the Google bots are not our robot overlords yet. So we have to help them understand what this content is. And a lot of people don't understand that the way a Google bot reads content is very different than a human being. They read the H1, then they read the H2s, then they read the H3 headers, then they read the bullet points, then they go back and scan the document for phrases that match, and then they go back through the rest of the content, which is totally not how a human being reads content. So I think one of the mistakes is putting content on your website without a deep understanding of how that needs to be formatted, not just for potential clients, but also for the Google bots to help them understand that content. And then the final mistake that I see is that people put content on their website and then that's it. So it's sort of like, you can't just build it and they will come, right? You have to actually do a bit of promotion of your content on social media, on LinkedIn, to network with people, and on Facebook. And a lot of people say to me, well, Annette, I don't get a lot of engagement on LinkedIn. And I said, that's okay. I mean, more engagement is always better, right? But at some point, someone is going to be considering hiring your law firm. And at that point, they will probably go check out your Facebook page or your LinkedIn. And if they can see that a lot of content is there, it solidifies their perception that you're an expert. So sometimes that's not quantifiable, with KPIs, right? That's not a solid key performance indicator that you can, nail down. But if you're showcasing yourself across multiple platforms, that you are promoting your content, then not only people will go to your website, which is great for the Google rankings, more people are coming to your website, then the Google thinks you're popular, right? And increases your domain authority score. But then also people that are prospective clients may notice it, or networking partners, right, will notice that. And then over time, you'll be top of mind, hopefully. And even if that's not the case, potential clients will go onto your LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram and see that you're holding yourself out to be an expert and an authority in this particular legal area. So those are the mistakes that I see.
I think the best metaphor I've ever heard for or as a reason to write more content for Google is think of your website as a magazine. You read the magazine once, and you're done with the magazine. You want the next issue to come out. It's like I don't know, car companies come out with the same car, but they reissue the car. They update a couple of features. You want to be. Not everything is evergreen, and your website, sure, is there every day, but it's not new. And you need to be making updates to show Google that you have a pulse and that you're an active business and that you're continuing to give out helpful, useful, and true, trustworthy advice to your audience. Maybe not your customers, but your audience.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's the other analogy I sometimes give is that it's like a garden. So you plant all these cute little flowers in front of your house. And then if you don't do anything with that, they just die, right? Like you've got to water them. If you want a bigger garden, you have to buy more, you have to keep it up and, even sometimes prune things, right? That you don't need anymore, add other things. So, it's kind of like if you're not growing, you're dying, according to Google. So
I like that one too. And as a funny story of how dumb I really am, when my wife and I bought our house and we planted all these flowers, I thought that the flowers were just there. Like you had flowers and they would come back year after year. I didn't know that you have to continually buy flowers and plant them. And I said, well, that stinks. I already paid for these flowers. They last like 4 months in the summer and then I got to buy them again next year. I hate it. So I understand the metaphor a little bit better now because I didn't know that flowers die and don't come back, which was upsetting. But everyone that I talk to these days, I think wants at least like one quick fix that they can implement and sort of see the results, right? Like a free sample almost. But when it comes to marketing, I know you you encourage lawyers to prioritize content creation over like the quick fixes or like the low-hanging fruit or schemes, right? Can you explain why you feel this way and sort of what you've seen as a result of like shifting your mindset to focusing on the long term rather than a gimmick?
So I'll give you 2 more analogies. The first analogy is this: if you this is kind of the difference between paid advertising and there's certainly a place for paid advertising, but when people put all of their eggs in the basket of paid advertising, I say that's like buying apples. You're just buying very expensive apples. Organic marketing is like content marketing, is like planting apple trees. It takes a longer, but eventually, you're going to get a lot of branches with a lot of apples. And unlike plants, those apples are going to come back year after year. And the content that you write right now, I mean, there's people that I know that they wrote a really great article like 5 years ago. They're still getting clients from that article. And so I really, that's one of the reasons that I really dig deep and hard on content marketing. And the other reason that I'm not into sort of very quick schemes is because, frankly, I think anyone who's an adult knows that typically these are not long-term solutions. And the example I give is this. So if you are going to eat fast food, right? I mean, the packaging looks good on the advertisement and everything, but then when you eat it, you don't feel that great, versus healthy food, carrots, broccoli, whatever, but that's better for you. And to continue that analogy on, if you go to the gym, 5 days a week and you eat right and you exercise, that doesn't happen the first day, unfortunately. You have to do that consistently over time. And then, after about 6 months or so, people look at you and they say, hey, have you been losing weight? And exasperated, you say, oh, yes, I've been losing weight. Thank you for noticing. And it's the same with SEO. You work to produce quality content. You write these long articles. You keep putting them on your website. You put them out on social media. You promote yourself. And then after about 6 months, Google says, hey, have you been working on your SEO? And exasperated, you say, why, yes, I have been working on my SEO. Thank you for noticing. So at the end of the day, I think that things that are full of quality take longer. Apple trees take longer than just buying an apple, but the reward for an apple tree or a healthy lifestyle or whatever it is always outweighs something that is a quick thing. And the last thing I'll say about this is that the Google bots are only getting smarter, and whatever scheme you hear about, they'll figure it out sooner rather than later. And so it's just really good, I think, to put your effort or your dollars into something that is full of a lot of quality.
I'm a little upset that you've sort of burst my bodybuilding career bubble. I guess that's why I'm a string bean. I need to eat healthier and go to the gym maybe.
Me too.
So we've established, right, that like you need to invest long term, but you need also the right long term mindset, right? Like anybody, I've seen Super Size Me, right? You can go to McDonald's every day, eat the cheeseburger, and you're going to get that sort of result, right? What's that guy's name? Jamie something? Jamie Oliver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good memory. So I want to talk about like doing it the right way, right? But also being able to stand out. So when it comes to creating content, what are some of like the unique topics or presentation styles that you sort of give to lawyers as advice, or maybe like a mindset sort of change where they can create content that's useful but helps them stand outside of the pack of like just a blog post or the run of the mill kind of content marketing?
It's a great question. And because I'm an attorney and all the attorneys will get this, we learn it like the first day in law school. The answer is it depends. What is going to work for an estate planning attorney may not work for personal injury or criminal defense, right? So what I suggest that people do, the very first thing is whatever content you're writing, write more, write it longer, write one article longer. One article of 2,000 words is much better than 4 that's 500. So write it longer, provide more value, and write more often. So that is the best way that you can stand out. But when the rubber hits the road and you're asking, how can I stand out among my competitors? How can I win against larger law firms online? All you need to do is go to Google and see who is ranking on that first page. So if you're an estate planning attorney, and don't just use location like Colorado estate planning attorney, no. Do wills versus trusts in Colorado, or pet trusts, or gun trusts, or cryptocurrency, or digital assets in estate. Like, get a little bit more niched down, and then look on the first page of Google and see what is winning. And then write more. Do more than what those people are doing. And I did an experiment for myself. So I wanted to rank for small law firm SEO, which is almost impossible to rank for. Clio is up there. Every, multi-million dollar companies are up there right underneath the ad spend. And I saw what people were doing, and this is just my secret ninja hack. So what I did was I looked at what everybody was doing. They had about 2,000 words. So I wrote 10. I wrote 10,000 word article. And I was on number 1 for a really long time, it was nearly a year. It was like 9 months. And then now I'm number 3. I'm under Clio. But the point of the matter is that is just, and people can go Google that right now if they want. And I think I'm number 2 or 3 right now. And that is something that I did. It was free, right? I wrote that content myself. I put it on Google. I had them index it. And then I'm above everybody else. And the reason is because Google is looking at my article and saying she's providing more value than these other people. If other people have videos, if your competition has videos, then you probably should include videos. If they have infographics, if they have a podcast or a little video, like an audio snippet, you really need to look at what your competition is doing and then just do it better.
I just looked, you are number 3. And I got to tell you, still pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I know I'm a big like number 1 junkie. So I totally feel you because I'm a perfectionist. But when other people tell me like, oh, I'm in the top 3 for a keyword, I'm like, oh, that's great. But if I tell you,
but now to be honest with you, what I will probably do is what I tell my clients to do. I will go back and I will add more value. I'm not going to just add fluff words. I might add a video. I might add an infographic or 2. I might add, maybe I'll do a podcast on that topic, and then I'll include the podcast, embed that in there, and then we'll see where we are in a few months. But I've had that ranking. 3 is the lowest that I've been for it. I was one for a really long time. And I only say this to say that for really difficult keywords, you can still rank if you are a small or solo law firm, if you provide more value, which is why I say always write 2,000 words instead of 400 or 500 word articles, because those are Google's never going to see value really in those. I mean, it does give you something to put on your website so there aren't tumbleweeds there. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to get in the SEO game, you need to look at what your competition is doing and then just do it better.
To contextualize for the audience how difficult that keyword is and to rank above Clio, Clio is over 10,000 customers. They're valued at over $1 billion. They're in 40 different countries and they have over 1,000 employees. So competing with the website Clio, I do that too. So I know that it's difficult, and trust me, that's impressive. So if you follow the same mindset as Annette, you can compete with websites of that magnitude. But for anyone tuning in a little late, welcome to our law firm summer reboot camp. My name is Nick Werker. Today we're focused on legal marketing. We're here with Annette Choti, the founder of Quill. And I want to ask you, because you deal with a ton of law firm websites. What's like the commonality between the best ones or the best performing ones that you see?
Some law firms, some lawyers, it's an organization and an institution. I feel like I can say this because I'm a lawyer, that is a bit antiquated. Sometimes we hold and cling to our tradition strongly. So what I have found is that a lot of law firms are, and I am sorry if I am going to offend anyone, tough love here, but it's the truth, which is that when I see someone with a logo that includes, this navy blue that includes like a gavel or the scales of justice or something like that, or has a website that is not, that looks a bit antiquated, those are the websites that are not doing as well. What I'm noticing is that the law firms and the lawyers that embrace digital marketing, that are embracing the internet and moving forward, are the ones that are succeeding. So what does that mean? That means people that have a more modern logo. Maybe you could use a gavel in a way that's really unique as part of your name or something, if there's something there. But law firms that are moving away just from a traditional, the law firm of XYZ to, like Suncrest or something. I don't think that that's a law firm, but maybe it is somewhere. Something that's moving more modern and forward, not just in terms of branding. And by the way, branding is not just a business card or a logo or a font. Branding is really an emotional connection that you have with a business. So people that are embracing that, people that are embracing more modern websites that are very easy to navigate for potential clients and for Google, frankly, as well. There's silos of content. And at the end of the day, when you have we all know that we've been on a website and we don't know exactly why, it looks dated, it just does. And then we all know the websites that we've been on that we're like, wow, this is a good what this looks good. It just is visually modern and appealing. Those are the ones that seem to do really well because it looks like you're putting effort into your website, which then sort of reassures potential clients that you care about your digital presence. So definitely more modern websites, definitely modern websites that are easy to navigate, that don't have a drop-down menu of like 50 different, it's just very concise, it's tight, it's easy to navigate. And then frankly, not to sort of beat a dead horse about this, but the websites that do the best are the ones that have content on it, because it's not just great for SEO, right? If I am a person looking, I'll just use the example since we have been about estate planning. I'm looking to do an estate plan. I can start reading through your articles about cryptocurrency or digital assets. I have pictures, right, on the internet, passwords. I have a pet. Maybe I need a pet trust, or maybe I read about special needs trusts. And you know what? I don't I don't have a special needs person in my life, but then that's showcasing you as an expert that you know about all of that. So I believe that websites that are modern, easy to navigate, and have a lot of free content that showcases expertise and authority are the ones that are winning. They're just the ones that are winning.
I like how you mentioned that when you go to a website, you can sort of feel that it's dated. And then you can go to a website that sort of feels smooth for you, right? Like it feels very usable. And that's a real ranking factor is usability, right? Like that's why it's important to have like a mobile, it's called responsive, right? It's important to
Yes.
have a responsive website
Yes.
that anybody can open and interact with.
Yes.
And it really brings me back to like old BuzzFeed articles where you'd click on the thing and then it would freeze and there'd be a ton of pop-ups and you'd try to click next. And now BuzzFeed is kind of gone, right? Because they did all that gimmicky stuff that worked at the time, but wasn't really built to last because we don't want pop-ups. Think of all the stuff that would bother you if you were on a website and get that off of yours, right?
Yeah. And pop-ups, again, it depends. If you have, there's a divorce attorney I know, and she has a DIY your divorce ebook, right, as her pop-up. And people are like, so people put in their email and they get this ebook for free. And people think, oh gosh, why would any lawyer do that? Well, people get to page like 5 of this 80-page book and they're like, well, I don't want to do this myself, right? And then guess who they call. So I think that even within the context of that, like a pop-up, if you are providing value somehow, not just like, hey, join my email list, it's awesome, right? If you are providing value in some way, you'll win, right? So, but you're right, there is a feel that you get. I feel like, the older websites from maybe the 90s, like they were just right in there was like a lot of white space.
The margin, what's with the margin?
Margins. Right.
I don't know that this is true anymore, but there was like I'm not going to name names because that's not nice. But one of the big like TV commercials, nationwide commercials, I used to go to their website and like try to learn from their content because obviously they were huge. And then I had to like sort of let go of this website because it did the margin thing and it was really old and the whole thing was in like Times New Roman. And I'm going to check after this to see if they've modernized it. I'm sure that they have. I want to talk about from a client's perspective, because that's really who we care about, right? Like, sure, you can impress me, you can impress Annette with your great ability to write and your understanding of the law, but ultimately what lawyers and law firms should be aiming to do is impress clients. So what's typically going to win over a client? Like what do more of potential customers want to see on a law firm website that might win them over as opposed to sending them running for cover?
So obviously, I'll just beat the dead horse and then move on to something else, but it's content, right? Because they're there, they have a problem. If they're on a law firm website, they have a problem. So they are looking, and frankly, they're looking, they want to choose you. They don't want to spend all day looking through 50 law firm websites, right? So they're hoping that there's something on your website that will make their decision easy for them. So not only having great content, having a great messaging. So if you are, there's a DUI attorney I know, and she actually got a DUI in law school. And she thought her whole career was ruined, everything. And then actually what she did was she took that experience, became a DUI attorney, and she's like the kinder, gentler DUI attorney. And her messaging is that not only will I help you with your DUI, I will make sure your life is not ruined because of it. I'll help you with make sure your immigration status stay, that your professional license stays. So it's a different branded message, right? And so I think people are looking to connect with people. And so in that vein, not only does your branding have to really connect and resonate with someone. And there's different brand, and I'll just give another example. There is an estate planning attorney I know, she's African-American, and her entire branding is about bringing education, about asset protection, intergenerational wealth, and estate planning to minority communities. So that is a different take as well on estate planning. So just get your branding really dialed in. And then the one area of your website that you really need to focus on that a lot of people don't is your About Me page, your About Us page. It's the second most trafficked page on law firm websites. The reason is, at the end of the day, Nick, right? People do business with people, right? They want to see who these people are at this law firm. They want to see, you know, can I connect with you? Does, you know, oh, I'm reading your bio and you do marathons, I do marathons. Like, okay, you know, it's just, people are looking for connection online. That's the reason videos do really well, because when someone watches you on your law firm video, they feel like they can connect with you. So things like anything that's going to allow you to uniquely connect with a potential client will serve you well.
Those are amazing examples of people using their ability to connect with the customer in order to, right? Like it doesn't have to be a sale. You don't have to like pound your chest and be Jordan Belfort in the Wolf of Wall Street. You can just offer yourself as like an understanding human being who also has a special skill to get either a certain goal accomplished or help you out of a certain situation that you might be in. And I want to talk about, because this is like a weird, boring thing to talk about, especially for lawyers, because it's really not sexy. And like a lot of marketing can be, right? Like you can make cool videos and commercials and testimonials, a great looking website, and it's really fun. But I gotta tell you, the most boring thing about SEO for many people is backlinks, mostly because they're just monotonous and difficult, and you can't really see them, right? Like you can't hold up a trophy and say like, look at my backlinks. I mean, you and I might be able to, and we can talk about that too. But can you talk about why it shouldn't be glossed over, and a few tips to sort of like either jumpstart your backlinks or how to get better at getting backlinks for your website?
So the most important thing is it's not just the number of backlinks you have, it's what the quality of those backlinks are. So for the people that are joining that may not know what a backlink is, a backlink is when another website that is not your website links to your website. So if you are writing content on your website and you're talking about a Colorado statute, and then you hyperlink that to the Colorado statutes, you are giving the Colorado statutes a backlink. They don't need it, but that's what you're doing. So when you have websites that are backlinking to you, what that showcases to Google is that you're kind of in the popular crowd, right? Someone, hopefully with a higher domain authority score than you, that's a DA score. And you can find out what your DA score is, you can just Google it. There's free tools out there, you know, that will let you see what your DA score is. You want websites that are in your niche, that are relevant to your website or your practice area or your industry to link back to you, because that showcases, it's kind of like the work for Google is already done for them. Google can look at that and look at all of these little highways that are going between pieces of content on the internet and say, wow, this more authoritative website is linking to your website. That's giving you already a level of authority and expertise and trustworthiness, right? So for example, just using me again, I write for Above the Law every week on their website, and every week they give me a backlink to my website, thank you Above the Law. So every week I get another backlink from Above the Law, which Above the Law does have a higher domain authority than I do. So that is only good for my website. That only showcases to Google that I'm worthy of that. And then what happens is my domain authority score goes up. Well, who cares? What does that mean? It's not just vanity metrics. What that means is that when your overall score on your website goes up, that means that all the little micro pieces of content that you write, Google automatically trusts it. So as you raise your entire domain authority of your whole website, Google will know, oh, okay, Nick is putting out another article, his domain authority is 52. I already know that I can trust that content on the website. I'm already going to go ahead and just put it on the first page of Google. So it's really important to get these backlinks. And I'm going to give a little secret ninja hack on how people can get started with backlinks for free. If you hire a digital marketing agency to do your backlinks for you, they are expensive. I'm just going to throw that out. But here's a way that you can get some for free. There is a website called Help a Reporter Out, HARO, HARO. And it's time consuming. You can get your VA or maybe an intern to do this for you, but twice a day, you will get emails from journalists that are looking for quotes or information regarding whatever the issue is. It could be, someone's asking about a political issue. Another journalist might be asking about the best, type of baby diaper, whatever it is. But within all of that, there's a section that's business. And there are articles in there where oftentimes they will ask for a personal injury or estate planning, immigration, especially when there's something in the news going on. So you don't get it, you get 2 a day, but that doesn't mean that you get 2 opportunities a day. But at the same time, it only takes, 15 seconds to kind of glance through it and see if there's anything there. And then what you do is if someone is asking a question about immigration law, and they want your quote for their article, you just click the link. It opens up a new box that's, an email, and you just say who you are and your website, and then give a link, and, then give your quote. And then if they use that in their article, they will give you a backlink. So that's my super secret ninja hack on how to get backlinks for free.
I love ninja hacks, and you inspired me. I did go back and re-sign up for Help a Reporter after the last time that we talked.
Yeah,
I haven't submitted anything yet, but I'm back on the horse at least.
But the thing is that, sometimes I'll be honest, like sometimes I'll get that and I'm like, okay, I'm not even looking at that right now. Like, it's just, but you get 2 of them a day, during the week. So you get 10 of these a week. And if you do have an intern, or if you have a virtual assistant or something like that, they can peruse those for you. And then when something comes up, just let you know so that you can provide a quote. But it is a great way to at least get some really quality backlinks. Eventually you can develop relationships with some reporters so that they just contact you first. So that's another thing you can do with even like the local news, or different people in your industry that might have websites or blogs that talk about the issues that the legal issues that the practice areas that you have. That's another way to get backlinks for free from news sources.
I have a super secret hack too that I want to share because I love marketing. Okay, there's something called the Forbes Agency Council. It does cost, I don't know what it costs. Like, I know it costs like $2,000 or $3,000 for an annual membership. Mm-hmm. But what the Forbes Agency Council is it's a community of sort of like high-powered, successful executives that can contribute articles on this forum, the Forbes Agency Council. But you have to be nominated to get in, and you can nominate yourself. So people will be like, oh, I need to get nominated. I need to you can nominate yourself. I think anonymously too. And then they'll call you up. They'll do a little like interview and make sure that you're not a total weirdo. If you are a weirdo, I don't know if they take you because I like to, no, I'm probably pretty weird. But so they do take weirdos because they took me. But what happens is you can submit, I think, 1 article a month. An editor will actually work together with you to make sure that you're providing real value and thought leadership. And then they post it up on Forbes, and you get a link back to your website via your bio, and you get to be more of a thought leader in the space. So if our viewers have enjoyed this conversation, right, and would like to connect with you, Annette Choti, founder of Quill, a great legal marketing agency, how can they do so?
Well, you can email me, Annette, ANNETTE @lawquill.com. You can find me on LinkedIn and connect with me there. It's just my name, Annette Choti. If you just put that in, you'll be able to find me. You can listen to my podcast, Legal Marketing Lounge. I have a book, Click Magnet. But if you want to directly talk to me, just email me or go to my website and you can peruse that at lawquill.com, lawquill.com. And then if you have any questions, you can hop on my calendar. There's a calendar on my website. I can put that in the chat. If someone wants to is that okay that I put that in the chat?
There are no rules. You can do whatever you want. And everyone who's here / watching this on the recast, there will be links to this in either the description or the email follow-up that you get, or both. So there will be plenty of opportunities for you to not forget Annette's contact information, because I'm sure that if you're interested in what she has to say, that she can provide serious value for you and your firm.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking before this sort of interview started even, I mean, Nick and I, you and I both just sort of geek out on digital marketing, and I absolutely love helping people with get answers to the questions that they have, and to try to navigate what can seem like a very overwhelming endeavor. So I welcome and encourage anyone that would like to visit with me to hop on my calendar or to email me.
Awesome. And Annette, thank you so much for joining us today at the second day of Law Firm's Summer Reboot Camp.